Welcome back, optimistic ladies and gentlemen, to another Meta Monday episode in this Pokemon TCG Online series. Meta Monday is a day of the week where we take a look at competitive decks from the past or the present in a Pokemon TCG Online meta, as well as Rob_GAJP is going to be our opponent with a Water, Colorless, Psychic, and a Metal deck maybe. This could be Seismitoad and Regice. Aquabox deck, maybe, I believe. Let's hope it is, because then we can actually use our Jolteon. Even though the Vespiquen is much better because we hit for weakness against Seismitoad. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes here. We will bench our Unown, and I'm probably going to attach the DCE to the Combee. And yes, it is Waterbox. It is definitely Waterbox, so let's play down our stadium, let's attach a DCE, then let's discard some cards from our deck. What do we discard? One Jolteon, one Vileplume, and one Gloom. Let's go with that for now. Then we are going to play down our Shaymin, draw into 4 more cards. We definitely want to item lock my opponent. We need to item lock my opponent if we can. There's 2 Lightning Energy, huh? Well, I'll discard a Sycamore and a Lightning Energy, and I'm going to grab myself another Shaymin. Maybe actually just the Oddish, and then we'll Sycamore our hand away instead. Make sure we have this Oddish. If we draw into a Battle Compressor, at least we can Battle Compressor Oddish. At least there's that. We get the Vespiquen, we get Bunnelby, the Gloom. No Vileplume though, no Vileplume. Do I bench the Bunnelby? I might as well. And we are going to bench our Shaymin as well. Draw into 3 more cards. Can we find a Vileplume? Can we find a Float Stone and a Vileplume? There's a Float Stone, and we have the Buddy-Buddy Rescue for the Vileplume. Excellent. Might as well farewell letter first before we do that. And another DCE. Alright, now it is time to use our Buddy-Buddy Rescue. Again, unlike in the last match, this time around we won't give my opponents any advantage by using our own Buddy-Buddy Rescue. Because in the previous game, my opponent could get back that Jirachi. We will item lock my opponent right here. I am also going to bench this other Combee, and there it is. There is the win against Seismitoad. Seismitoad Aquabox. So just like against Greninja, a very fast win if you can set up. Alright, I'm going to find myself one more opponent, because this was not really a long game for me to consider it a nice ending to today's episode. I want to end on a nice game, so let's find ourselves another opponent. Our last opponent of the day is Gabriel CH with a Colorless and a Darkness deck. Let's hope this is a deck full of basics, chock full of basics. We want to see basics, all basics. That's all we want to see, so we can use our Jolteon-EX. We won the coin flip. We will go first. Yes, that much is for sure. Try to set up here and have a look at what my opponent starts off with. We start off with our Combee and an Oddish. That is good. We will most likely discard the Oddish and the Vespiquen with our Ultra Ball. Unless we can find a first of giant plants from this Trainers Mail, then I might just as well evolve into my Vespiquen right there. My opponent is playing with Yveltal sleeves. Does that mean he is playing Yveltal-EX? Is that what we are up against? And yes, he is. Alright, fantastic. We can use our Jolteon here. Let's take a look at the Trainers Mail first. An Ultra Ball or a Float Stone. I will grab the Float Stone. Put the Float Stone on my Oddish, and we are going to grab ourselves a nice Jolteon. That is fantastic. We might be able to use our Jolteon after all in this last match of the day if we don't see a concede. If we don't see a concede like we did against the Night March deck, we will Shaymin. Maybe I should just not evolve in my Vileplume just to make sure we don't see a concede. A DCE for our Jolteon, fantastic. Let's see, we will discard the Combee and the Gloom. We are going to grab maybe the Bunnelby. Well, we could grab another Shaymin, I guess. Let's grab another Shaymin. We don't have the Bunnelby either. We don't have the Bunnelby anyways. I meant not either. We don't have it anyways. So it is priced. We cannot use our Bunnelby at the moment. We'll need to see if we can find it from the prizes. Oh, and the Forest of Giant Plants. So now we have free retreat here from our Vespiquen. I'm going to bench the Unown. And then farewell letter for 1 card. Hopefully I can find a Gloom here. Another Forest. Let's bench our Shaymin then. Draw 3 more cards. Try to find an Ultra Ball or the Gloom. And there's Combee, a DCE. Well, we'll have to discard his DCE. We'll have to discard the DCE. We need to find our Gloom here. We don't find it. We don't find it. Let's battle Compressor first of all. Let's discard some more Oddish. There is a Gloom. I'll also discard the... maybe one Vileplume and the last Unown there. Yes, let's go with that. And then we are going to... Acro Bike. Let's Acro Bike first. Battle Compressor or an Ultra Ball. Tough call, tough call. If Ultra Ball, we can Ultra Ball for a Gloom, and if we get another Ultra Ball, we can Ultra Ball for a Vileplume. I'm gonna have to say it's going to be Ultra Ball here, because we are not going to really rely on our Vespiquen, so we are going to discard the Oddish and the Vespiquen, and we are going to grab ourselves a Gloom here. If we find an Ultra Ball, we can discard the Sycamore and the Unown. We are left without a hand then, but that's okay. I think maybe actually that's not good. Maybe we should not do that. We get a Sycamore and a Battle Compressor, so we don't get an Ultra Ball anyways. No item lock for us in the first turn, but hopefully that prevents my opponent from conceding, because we didn't get an item lock going. We'll discard the Vileplume. Do we have the Buddy-Buddy Rescue? Yes, we do. And we'll discard maybe the Unown as well. And I think that's it. We don't really want to discard anything else at the moment. Yes, let's end our turn here. See what our opponent can do in his first turn. Is there anything he can do? I forgot to take a look if we have Lightning Energy in our deck, because it might be the case that all of our Lightning Energy are prized. I forgot to look at my Lightning Energies. We have 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14 Pokemon in this card pile already. That is nearly a one-hit KO on the Yveltal. It's so tempting to just KO the Yveltal with my Vespiquen. Oh, we top deck a Combee. And now we can do that because we have enough Pokemon in the discard pile. But there we get our Lightning Energies. We don't get a DCE anyways, so we don't have a choice. We need to attack with our Jolteon. Here comes the Jolteon. Flash Ray for 140 damage on the Yveltal, and we prevent my opponent from attacking us. Finally, the Jolteon is in play, performing some stunts here in the active spot. Will we see a concede right now? Does my opponent play any evolution Pokemon? Hexmaniac doesn't do anything for my opponent at the moment. Doesn't even shut down our Vileplume, so I'm not sure why my opponent uses it at the moment. An energy on the Darkrai, a Buddy-Buddy Rescue. Yes, this is probably going to make my opponent concede if I do this. Let's Buddy-Buddy Rescue for the Vileplume. Grab that Vileplume and item lock my opponent. If he does not concede, I say huge props to my opponent for not conceding, because this is not fun to play against. And this is not fun at all for my opponent to play against. Flash Ray for 140 damage. The first two prizes of the game, and soon enough we will take some more prizes there from the Darkrai. We do get our Bunnelby as well. We could see a Zero Seek on our Vileplume and then a Lysander on our Vileplume. And that's one way my opponent could try to stall. But we have our AZ in hand. And he does not concede yet. And there's a concede. Never mind. Right when I said it, we see the concede. So there you go. There you have the lock here. The lock with Jolteon-EX. That is why Jolteon-EX is in this deck. That is the one and only reason why it is in this deck. For decks like Yveltal and Darkrai, which typically do not play any basics except for Zoroark. Sometimes they do play Zoroark. So we dealt 280 damage versus 0, Jolteon-EX MVP versus no one, because my opponent could not attack us. And this was yet again a short game, so I will find myself one more opponent for the last game of today. Our next opponent is Solo YOLO with a Psychic and a Darkness deck. Solo YOLO, I believe I've played against you before. Your name sounds familiar. It's not a name you easily forget. Honestly, that is not a name you easily forget. And he lets us go first. Wow. Oh, he has nice sleeves. Those are some nice, some pretty sleeves. Teammates, Escape Rope. Doesn't really tell me anything. I'm not sure what my opponent is playing. We mulligan as well though. With 28 Pokemon, we managed to mulligan. Well, we do run a lot of evolution, so. And there's a Shaymin. Shaymin start. We have a Float Stone. I think I will attach a DCE to my Shaymin here. Another mulligan from my opponent. It is Zoroark. It is Zoroark. Zoroark can copy our Be Revenge or can hit for a ton of damage with the stand-in. That is definitely possible. Yes, we will draw into one more card, and an Ultra Ball, fantastic. Ooh, we even get a Buddy-Buddy Rescue. Let's Ultra Ball away the Vespiquen and the DCE, because we are going to have to discard a DCE anyways. We will grab ourselves a Combee. Yes, let's grab the Combee. We are going to attach a DCE to our Combee. Then we are going to play down the Forest of Giant Plants and use our Buddy-Buddy Rescue to grab our Vespiquen from the discard pile, evolve into the Vespiquen, make sure we have one Vespiquen ready to go. Vespiquen to attack this Zoroark in the active spot. For now we are hitting for 20 damage only, but that will change very soon. We are going to attach the Float Stone to our Shaymin, otherwise we'll have to discard it anyways. And then we are going to Sycamore and start digging through our deck. There's an Oddish and a Gloom, all in the same hand, fantastic. We even get an Oddish that we can discard with our Ultra Ball here. So let's do that, let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab ourselves, not a Jolteon, no need for the Jolteon. We will grab probably just an Unown. Let's grab ourselves an Unown, maybe actually another Shaymin, because we cannot use any supporters anymore. We used our Sycamore for the turn already, so we are going to keep digging with our Shaymins. Make sure that if we get a bad hand from this Shaymin, we can use another Shaymin. And there's a Battle Compressor and a Combee, fantastic. Let's compress our Oddishes in the deck. 2 Oddish and 1 Gloom. How many Vileplumes do you have? Only one more Vileplume. Only one more Vileplume. That is going to be tricky for us to get out. Let's take a look at our deck. DCE or Shaymin. Let's discard the Shaymin. Let's keep the DCE. And then we'll bench the Combee and bench our Shaymin. Draw into 3 more cards. Try to find the Vileplume and a Float Stone. And we do not find it. That is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we will retreat into our Vespiquen here without a DCE. You never know, we might see a Wally and a DCE on this Zoroark, and then my opponent can knock out our Pokemon. And we do not want my opponent to knock out the Vespiquen with the DCE, nor do we want my opponent to knock out a Shaymin. There's a Float Stone and an Umbreon-EX. An Umbreon-EX is not so useful against our deck, to be honest. It's pretty unuseful against our deck. Cannot even hit for the 1-hit kill because it has a Fighting Fury belt attached. Retreats into the Jolteon. We will see a Veil of Darkness. Discard as many cards as you like from your hand, and then draw that many cards. So this Jolteon is going to act as draw supporter for my opponent at the moment. That is a pretty smart play. I quite like that. Switch, discard a switch, a Zoroark and a Fighting Fury belt. Alright, we get another DCE. Well, might as well attach it. Then I'm going to AZ up one of my Shaymin. We are going to... Oh, that was the wrong Shaymin. I wanted to AZ up the Shaymin without the Float Stone. I thought the Float Stone was on the Shaymin on the right. I didn't see that correctly. Herpaderp, that was a misplay. Let's use our Unown. Try to find maybe... Oh, there's a Float Stone. Yes, a Float Stone for our Gloom. And we are going to Shaymin again. Try to find our Vileplume here. Ooh, we get 2 Trainers Mail. Can we get an Ultra Ball? Battle Compressor. Let's see here. Yeah, we definitely want to grab the Battle Compressor. How many Ultra Balls have we used? Only 2. So we have a good chance of finding an Ultra Ball from this Trainers Mail. Can we do it? Yes, we do it. It's tempting to grab the AZ, but I want to item lock my opponent right here. So let's Ultra Ball away the Jolteon and the Lightning Energy. We are going to grab ourselves our Vileplume, good old Vileplume. And before we do that, let's Battle Compress. Let's compress the Jolteon, the Gloom, and maybe this Unown here. Alright. And then we will item lock my opponent. Hit for, I think, like 140 damage maybe. 120 damage. Alright, 120. That is a 2-hit KO. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. As long as we get a 2-hit KO, I'm happy. This Vespiquen is not going to live too long, but we have the backup Vespiquen on the bench for now. Oh, and a Lysander on our Shaymin. Veil of Darkness again. Hits for 30. We will have to discard a DCE to retreat our Shaymin, or we could just Sky Return. I guess we could just Sky Return. Discards Vespiquen and Max Elixir and the Zoroark break. Yeah, so do we Sky Return or do we not? I will Sky Return. I need to preserve my DCEs here. We will promote the Vileplume and pause the turn to my opponents. In the next turn we'll retreat into our Vespiquen unless we see a Zero Seek onto our Vileplume. Unless that happens. Nope, another Veil of Darkness for 30. Will my opponent discard his entire hand again? Actually, it discards his entire hand again. My opponent is not very lucky at the moment. And a pass onto our turn. Alright, we'll keep the DC in our hands. We will retreat into our Vespiquen and get a knockout here on this Umbreon. Take the first 2 prizes of the game. I would love to find an AZ if it is in the discard pile. I don't think so. I think all of our AZs were in the deck. We do get an Unown, which is good, which increases our damage output a little bit, but that might not be necessary. There is the Yveltal, never mind, it will be necessary. An energy on the Yveltal and a Sycamore from my opponent. This time around my opponent did get a better hand, but those Max Elixirs, they are dead cards for him. Same for the Vespiquen. He should be able to get some more energies for the next turn though, and then this Yveltal can come in and one-hit KO our Vespiquen. Which leaves us with this Vespiquen, which will also get one-hit KO'd, and I don't think we can one-hit KO the Yveltal, so we need to find another Vespiquen. Or we could just promote our Shaymins and Shaymin loop until the Yveltal-EX has enough damage on it, because Yveltal-EX cannot really one-hit KO our Shaymins at the moment. Hits for 60 at most in the next turn, or maybe 80 if we see a DCE. Oh, and a Dimension Valley. I'm not sure if my opponent runs DCE because he plays Max Elixir. What will we do? We will counter the stadium. Do we counter the stadium right now? 2 Forest of Giant Plants in the discard pile. No, we don't really need to counter the stadium at the moment. We will just be revenge for the knockouts. For 120, take another prize. We are forced to take 6 prizes this game because my opponent benched another 3 prizes. So we need to deal here with that Yveltal-EX. Promotes the Mew because it's got free retreats. So now my opponent can always retreat into the Yveltal. When I think my opponent has the necessary energy. Oh, even benches a Darkrai. An energy on the Mew. The Mew is actually going to hit us for the Evil Ball for the knockouts. That's okay. We will just Sky Return here. We don't really need to do anything else. We can simply Sky Return unless we see a Lysander at some point. Oh, there is the Combee. There is the Combee. We do get the Combee. That is fantastic. Now we can actually attack with our Vespiquen maybe. Maybe not. Let's Shaymin loop instead. I think it's the safer play. If we see a Lysander, at least we have another Vespiquen. Yes, this is definitely the safer play. And there's no way my opponent can KO the Shaymin at the moment, so either we will take a knockout on a Mew or my opponent needs to retreat into the Yveltal-EX, and then we can start attacking with our Vespiquen. If we top deck an AZ, because right now the Shaymin is stuck in the active spot. An energy on the Yveltal-EX and an encounter, not actually an attack. It's going to look for another Pokemon. My opponent might start switching between Pokemon here. That might be my opponent's strategy. There's a Darkrai. We do have our Bunnelby, so if we get close to the deck out, we can always use our Bunnelby. There is a Bunnelby. Alright, we do have the Bunnelby. Let's Sky Return and let's promote our Vileplume maybe. The Yveltal can hit for 100 damage, which is just enough if my opponent finds a DCE. That is a big if. And if he does, we will most likely knock out this Yveltal-EX, because if he knocks out our Vileplume, we can use our item cards and we can discard enough Pokemon to knock out the Yveltal-EX. Does my opponent take the bait here? Does he take the bait of knocking out our Vileplume, of attaching a DCE if he has it? No, he actually does not have the DCE. So we won't see a knockout on our Vileplume. Counters the stadium, that's okay. Well, that means I will start hitting with our Vespiquen here. Force my opponent to retreat this Yveltal-EX if he wants to stay in the game. Yep, 90 damage, that is just 10 shorts. 90 is 10 shorts. And moves the energy to the Darkrai. So I think my opponent is planning on retreating here. We get a lightning energy. Yeah, I'm going to attach my DCE. We have the lightning energy for the Bunnelby, so we don't need to preserve the DCE. We are going to Be Revenge. There's no way we can discard any Pokemon, so Be Revenge it is for a ton of damage on this Yveltal. 140, just 30 short. And then we'll see a retreat into the Darkrai. The Darkrai can hit for 60 at most, so our Vespiquen stays alive. We can hit against the Darkrai, and then my opponent needs to retreat to the Darkrai, and there it is. Yes, this was a win. There was no way my opponent could have done anything there unless he maybe used a Zero Seek or something. And Zero Seek could have accomplished something there, I believe. Let's take a look at the stats. 590 damage dealt versus 260 from my opponent. Vespiquen MVP versus Umbreon-EX. Alright, this is probably going to be it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Vespiquen and Vileplume, a very annoying episode for my opponents. I apologize to everyone I played against. I'm so sorry you had to sit through this item lock and sit through the rage, the revenge of the Vespiquen. But it is a good deck, so you need to be prepared to face it in the Pokemon TCG Online, as well as in the real life, in the real world, on tournaments. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Meta Monday episodes. And I'll see you next time with another episode in this Pokemon TCG Online series.
Karp, 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 Karp.